just before the downfall of Rome. The civilization had descended into moral decay. Enjoying the many benefits of global domination, the civilization had become lazy, corrupt, weak. Forgetting their civic duties, forgetting loyalty to each other and themselves. They became mindless hedonists, consumers. Their attention being gobbled up by the circus. The leaders of that time, who were as degenerate as they come, also having fallen prey to their lower natures, had but to entertain the people, bread and circuses, bread and circuses. That was what led to the downfall of the greatest civilization of the ancient world. They say that every 60 or 70 years there's a cycle. Hard times create strong men. Strong men create good times. Good times create weak men. Weak men create hard times. There's a reason why our grandfathers had double the testosterone that we have today. There's a reason why it's so hard to find a real man when you look around today. with every passing day on this journey of purification, it becomes clearer and clearer. We are entering hard times. You can feel it in the air. You can smell it. We are not at liberty to speak freely. You know this. How else could we have just witnessed the greatest psyop the greatest scam in the history of the world? Where we as men voluntarily stepped aside while one by one our God-given rights were systematically stripped away. While we watched our loved ones being subjected to a process of poisoning. Physically, psychologically, and spiritually. We allowed it to happen. I allowed it to happen. And there's been a deep shame, a residue that's stuck around in the back of my mind ever since I allowed that to happen. Because something inside of me, as much as I try to gloss over it, pretend it's all okay, something inside of me knows it was wrong. Something inside of me knew it was wrong while it was happening. And so here we are. In the long exhale after the plunging of the sword. Here we are, waiting, listening to the long inhale before the storm that we can all feel brewing. With every passing day, with every step of purification, as I let go more and more of this cancer called lust, I feel myself waking from a terrible dream. A dream in which I was ever fed, but never satisfied. It didn't matter how much corn, how many women, how many times I pleasured myself. It only made me hungry for more. It only degenerated my soul. More and more. And now I come to the realization, and thank God it's happened now, and not 20 years hence. That when I am never fed, I am ever satisfied. A quote by Paramahansa Yogananda, a lifelong celibate and an avatar. You see, we created this. We created this impending hard time. The likes of which the world has never seen. The technocracy is coming, my friends. We let it happen through our acceptance of this demon within ourselves. It started with a fascination And as we continue to ignore those warning signs, those red flags, that still small voice somewhere inside that told you this is not the way of a king. And if that were not enough, the deepening fatigue, lethargy, feelings of shame, exhaustion, brain fog, diminishing self-worth, diminishing confidence. These were all signs that something was wrong. Until eventually it reached breaking point and we realized if we didn't change, it was going to cost us our life. Our grandfathers never worshipped women in the way that we do. Never put upon an altar of praise the female form in the way that we have. They instinctively understood that lust was something to be kept in check. That it was a power too great for any man to wield. But we, being a pampered, soft, wayward generation, we allowed ourselves to be seduced by pleasure. We allowed ourselves to put pleasure above our own inner knowing, above our own self-respect, above the Most High. And so one by one the dominoes fell. We lost respect for ourselves. Women lost respect for man. And then women began to worship themselves. They're not to blame. This behavior was the result of the void that we created through our animalistic enslavement to our lower nature. are the reclaimers, my brothers. We are the redeemers. But if you feel that this process of retaining is nothing more than a strategy to extract more pleasure you know what I'm talking about. These were the same thoughts that I had myself. And if you're going down that track, then you're walking down the broad path which leads to destruction. Ever fed, never satisfied. But if you feel an attraction that you can't explain, to becoming the most powerful version, incarnation, manifestation, if you feel a stirring in your spirit, to know what it truly means to be a man, it requires annihilation. Utter destruction. Absolute transmutation. Of the lower nature into the supreme nature. You'll be crowned with honor. wealth will come to you without struggle or strain. The purpose of your life here at this time will become abundantly clear. But don't do it for any of those reasons. Don't do it to heal yourself, the people around you, your family. Don't do it to heal the women, the girls, the mothers, the sisters, the daughters of this earth who are crying out, spiritually yearning for the return of men Don't do it for any of those reasons. Because all of that's rooted in impermanence. Like the flowers of the field, here today, tossed into the oven tomorrow. Make your motivation that which lasts. That which outlives these temporary benefits. Purify yourself in honor, in love, in devotion to your Creator.